Hi there. Welcome back to Spring into Math 7. I'm Mrs. Campbell, and today we're going to be talking about triangles. Let's jump in. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about when we're discussing triangles is what's called their interior angles. Let's take a look at the definition. Interior angles are the angles, all the angles inside the triangle. There are three of them, three corners, three edges of a triangle, so therefore there are three angles inside of it. Their measurements, and this is really, really important to remember, will always add up to 180 degrees. And you can see that in each one of these four triangles. 60, 60, 60, 45, 45, 90, 30, 70, 80, 25, 120, and 35. They all total 180 degrees, even though they're different shapes. All right. Let's also talk about how a triangle can be formed by the intersection of three lines. Let's take a look. The interior angles all total 180 degrees. We've already established that. But if we extend any side of the triangle, then it stretches beyond the triangle. And now we have a pair of angles, interior angles and exterior angles. Take a look at what I mean by this. See how if we extend this line past the triangle to the outside or the exterior on both of these lines, we've now made an exterior angle as well. Okay, so you've probably already noticed that the interior angle and the exterior angle actually form a line, or 180 degrees. See that? You have angle X on the interior of the triangle, and you have 120 degrees on the exterior angle. But remember, their sum has to be 180 degrees because this is a straight line. So 120 plus x, we're trying to solve for x. What is the measurement of that angle? 120 plus x equals 180. Subtract 120 from both sides, x equals 60 degrees. Pretty cool. All right, so let's try a problem here. Okay, what is the measure of angle S in the figure below? So it's this exterior angle out here. So the first thing we would need to know is what is the angle measurement of that third part of the triangle? We know we've got 30, 35, and something. We don't know what. Well, keep in mind, we know that all the interior angles of a triangle have to be have the total sum of 180 degrees. So the easiest way to do this is to add 30 plus 35, which gives you 65. And then knowing it needs to total 180, subtract 65 from 180, and you get 115. So now we know that the interior angle is 115 degrees. And if we know that the interior angle is 115 degrees, and it combines with angle S to make a straight line, then we just have to do the math and say that also 180 minus 115, and we'll show you a little bit more clearly on the next slide. If this is 115, and we need to know what S is because they are adjacent, together they must total 180 degrees. 115 plus S, 115 degrees plus S equals 180. Subtract 115 from both sides. We want to isolate the variable, or the angle, and S is 65 degrees. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You just work with the information that you have and kind of go through almost like a logic puzzle, trying to make deductions as you go along and come to an answer. Okay, really quickly, let's talk about the different types of triangles we have, and because we're going to be classifying triangles in geometry. So the three types of triangles are acute, obtuse, and right. All right, first let's talk about acute triangles. So remember I said cute reminds me of a cute little baby. It's small. That might be silly, but it worked for me. Acute triangles have three acute angles inside them, meaning all of their angles measure less than 90 degrees. Now keep in mind, even though the measures of the angles are less than 90 degrees, they all still total 180 because that's one of the rules we know about triangles. And next we have obtuse triangles, where we have one wide angle that's greater than 90 degrees, and still all the angles will add up to 180 degrees. So here's our obtuse angle, obtuse, because it's greater than 90, and that angle is obtuse. All right, and right triangles have one right angle that measures exactly 90 degrees, and all the angles still total 180 degrees. All right, you try. So I'd like you to try to classify the following triangles. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you need to, pause your video, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and give it a shot. Good luck. All right, everyone, how did you do? Let's find out what the answers were. Okay, number 1 was an acute triangle because all 3 of the measurements were less than 90 degrees. Number 2 is a right triangle. This little box may have given it up for you, but yes, that is in fact a right triangle. Number 3 is an obtuse angle because that has that one angle of 100, obtuse triangle because it has that one angle of 140 degrees. And number 4 is also an obtuse triangle. This 95 might have thrown you off because it's kind of close to 90, but no, it's actually, in fact, still an obtuse angle. Therefore, it is an obtuse triangle as well. All right, everyone, that just about wraps it up for this lesson. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.